will lean towards that. I feel like this has been the standard B1.
Oh, it's so easy to play around is the thing. One of the reasons why the meta has changed is because, of course, AP junglers are so good, but you need AD mid laners to support them. The Corki comes in, that's AD as well. Croco locks in one of those AP junglers. This is one of the biggest parts of the meta right now, and this is the question to all mid laners and junglers. Can mid laners play AD champions? Can junglers play AP ones? Aki hasn't shown one of these AP junglers so far. It's not really something I'd say is his comfort picks within that jungle. He might have to go towards that style, though, because the meta demands it.
And you expect he's been practicing, right? Certainly a player with hands. Let's see if he can pilot this Karthus. And then it's going to be the Twisted Fate locked in as well. You assume for Shanji there. And this becomes difficult for Ala. What are you going to pick? Because the Jax that you'd like is gone. The Rumble is gone. The Camille is gone. Suddenly the matchups don't look so good.
Yeah, Ala, he needs to dig deep to have something which can have some lane pressure topside. Might have to leave that a little later into the draft and have a think about that one. But NIP already have one of the strongest top laners in the game. It's hard to find a winning lane up there from anyone's legend. Tristana, basically no counters in the mid lane right now. So they have winning lanes topside. That helps the Karthus against the Nidalee, which has been locked in for Croco. Anyone's legend on the other side say, okay, we'll lock in the Varus. If we can't secure winning mid or top lane right now, we'll go for that strong bot lane of that Varus.
So, powerful AD carry locked in there. Still a little bit of flexibility for NIP as well. Stuff like the Tristana, stuff like the Twisted Fate can technically flex into AD carry, although you don't really expect that to be the case in the current meta. Kalista going to be taken off the board by AL, focusing on that bottom lane. Wouldn't be too surprised to see some support bans coming out from NIP.
I think that Leona and Nautilus are very, very strong right now. What we have seen is Varus, Nautilus, particularly with the Nidalee as well, they will kill the first target very, very quickly. So I think that should be banned out. I think there's also a chance that anyone's legend on the other side potentially ban away something like a Blitzcrank. I think Blitzcrank has been very good into these Varus lanes too. Wouldn't be surprised to see that being another support hit, but this time from the side of AL, whereas NIP, I'd imagine the Nautilus will be the second ban.
So Senna going to be taken off the board by AL. Obviously, Senna kind of a Photic classic, but also you've got very, very strong laners in mid and top, so it would be very nice to have that quote-unquote weak side Senna available, although this Senna's not really part of the weak side. Senna usually just abandons
she
the
actually
weak
just
side.
leaves it.
She just goes and joins in with the fun on the top side of the map.
So they expect one of us in the bracket, brother, leaves the ship.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't be surprised to see something like a Ziggs. That has been something that we keep on seeing crop up and can do very well at pushing while everything else is happening on the top side.
I am surprised that NIP let the Nautilus go through. Varus Nautilus, very, very strong. I think you can deal with the Varus Ashe as well. You still have your full bot lane to pick in. You could pick in something like, I mean, obviously Pyke's the very aggressive thing, but you could look for Zhuo to pick up something like the Blitzcrank instead. And now you've also banned away the Leona. The Nautilus is gone too. If you do lock in something like that, Ziggs, you don't have the best hard CC option to go alongside it, and that's why they don't lock it in, and we go towards the Sivir. Photic has occasionally picked this one out.
I love Sivir at the minute. I feel like Sivir's quite an underrated pick. A lot of damage in those team fights later on. You do take a long time to scale into things. I will say, there's a static Shiv build that is really obnoxious, where you just one-shot minion waves. Yes, it is. And you just farm first strike gold on everyone.
You know who invented that? I'm a cutie pie. The legend himself. I actually can't believe this dude is still innovating after all these years.
Yep. I don't know if that's a 1411 build, if it works on 1410 or not. I assume it does, to be honest. But either way, Malphite locked in for Ala. He's like, you know what? You're going to go for an AD range top laner. I'm just going to play full armor. There's nothing you can do about it.
But I feel like this Malphite might actually end up being a really awkward situation now developing for anyone's legend, where you have losing mid, losing top, you have loads of tank-killing AD carries from NIP. Yes, you have a lot of armor, but I feel like at 1 to 2 items, Ala is going to be behind a lot of gold and dying very, very quickly. You're going to have to bail out this Malphite somehow. If you get one good gank onto Twisted Fate to secure the laning phase, maybe a good roam from Kael, something like that going towards topside, maybe that can solve things for the Malphite. But if this Malphite is left to their own devices, I think that they're going to be shoved so far behind in gold, they're going to be absolutely shut out of the game.
Tava just nearly went to rejoin the team again, realizes he's got to leave the stage.
As brought from you from the same person that ran onto stage before the Nexus fell at MSI.
Tava, he needs a map of the stage. He needs someone, you know, sat there with Google Maps. I say Google Maps, I can't even use Google Maps in China. Never mind, he'll have to figure that one out later. Look, he's in a new stadium, okay? He's used to being in Shanghai, he's not used to being in Shenzhen. The stage may be almost exactly the same, but either way, Shanji up in the top lane against Alan. That's a matchup that, in theory, I'm excited for, except Alan picked Malphite, and he's going to be an absolute shambles because Corrupting Pot no longer exists. So your Comet Spam Scorch Corrupting Pot Malphite sort of accidentally nerfed there by Riot. This should be a bit of a banger. We got carries across the board on both sides. I'm hoping we can see a glow up here for AL, but they're up against a top 4 team in NIP.
I want to point out something very interesting.
Yeah.
If you look at the spectator right now,
okay,
I just saw that Alan and Shanks has switched. Okay, I'm no longer going to point out something interesting. Thinking, hang on a second, what's happened here? The Malphite's going into the Tristana. How do they know that? It isn't even the same players changing about. That's something that we used to see. We used to see that in earlier seasons of play, where sometimes you'd have role swaps from the team. I remember Soaz playing mid lane and Peke playing top lane, and them flexing Ziggs around in season 4 or something. It's been a while since we've had that in earnest, though.
Yeah, a little old while. That said, the lane swap's kind of a flavour of that. There's Zhuo going to take a spear. And AL just going to start in the enemy jungle. Procs to blast code, so Zhuo's sent away. Aki takes a chunk.
Right.
This is a nice start for AL.
It is, because the Nidalee needs to get ahead of the Karthus. You have very strong level 1. Photic, Zhuo, Aki all trying to contest this, but they don't have the strong level 1 compared to Nautilus and compared to Nidalee. So that's going to be the majority of a quadrant being taken away from Aki already. We need to see if he can get over to the other side of the map. Because you have winning top and winning mid lane, Aki should be able to get access to Croco's red side jungle. So it looks like it's going to be the vertical jungling rather than any kind of lane swap shenanigans.
Nice timing there for Aloe, waits for the passive shield to come up as Rookie hits level 2, immediately trades, but Shanks hit level 2 as well, and he's going to flash forward. Rookie might just go down. Shanks solo kills the best mid laner in the LPL.
We said this was a benchmark. We said that Shanks could be one of those elite mid laners, but how can you tell given the level of AL from last split? That's how you can tell right now, though. Solo kills Rookie at level 2 in the AD carry v AD carry matchup.
Nicely done by Shanks. Great punish, Croco. Photic actually takes the big one. It's not that much gold anymore. They did nerf how much gold that does quite a while ago, but still.
And it's still level 3 for Croco. Kael does have that. Look, Photic not going to get hit by that spear, so any dive potential is completely off after that point. But we need to really see what's going to happen with these jungle pathings now, because Aki does get himself into the enemy jungle. He's been slowed down a little bit, and Rookie hits level 2. We've got to see what happens with Shanks here. How does he hit level 2? Does he just walk back in range just for that last minion to die? I think he does. Rookie maybe just misjudging the amount of health left on his own minions, so Shanks could get that level up.
I think maybe overestimating the presence of Aki there. Aki was obviously on enemy chickens, but the thing is, this is Tristana versus Corki. The deaths come fast in that kind of matchup. Shanji gets a stun. Aki just dropping those Skittles behind the turret as well. Oh, Allah, this is pain. All top laners across the world watching this and feeling Allah's pain.
Shanji?
There's so little he can do. Goes pop by Shanji. Are they going to complete the dive? There we go. Stun comes in. Oh, 1 HP.
Oh, it's
moves back up, and he doesn't tank the tower.
It takes 3 gold cards. Where was he hiding them up his sleeves, man? He gets all of them all the same. Just puts down first dive, doesn't quite kill him. Oh, we'll go again. Oh, why not a second? Why not a third dive? Takes a while, but this is the problem we said about the Malphite. You are going to be left on your own to dry in this top lane matchup. First kill goes over to Shanji. Need to see that stabilized from anyone's legend, because Malphite, you don't want to see them just fall behind this game too far.
Typically, when a player's shown 2 yellow cards, they're off the pitch. But Allah, refusing the rules, takes 3 before he's gone. There's a big trade in the bottom side as well. Croco getting the chickens, going for more invades. We talked about Karthus versus Nidalee so far. Croco off to a pretty good lead.
Yeah, Croco needs to be off to that lead, though. It's one of the things that we have seen is that Nidalee has risen in priority because it's good, yes, versus the early skirmishing junglers in some ways because you can still fight them well, but very good versus the farming AP junglers because if a single gold card, not a gold card, or a single spear hits them in the enemy jungler, they effectively just die. So you need to be very respectful of the Nidalee, and you can't just snooze your way into a kind of a farm lead on something like a Karthus or a Lilia or what have you. The Nidalee's very good at shutting down the current meta AP junglers.
See how Croco does. But we're talking about Aki before the game, talking about these AP junglers and how he'll perform in this meta. I'm excited to see the rest of this game, to see what he can do. Obviously, great start for him going up towards that top side and punishing this very weak side pick of the Malphite up against Shanji's Twisted Fate. You see almost a 20 CS lead up top already. Ala should hopefully be able to clean up some of these minions, but getting to those ranged minions can be difficult in this kind of matchup.
I'm kind of worried what's going to happen with turret plates as well, because Shanji should be able to hit one or two of them. Shanji's using the stacked stack there, stacking up the empowered autos and getting as much as you can there. Ala went for the Comet plus Doran's. Shanji actually messing up a little bit there, because he has the Swifties. He should be able to walk out of the Comet when it hits on that cube, because it can deny some of the slow from it, so it should deny some of that Comet value and deny Ala some of the trading potential, which is itemized into. Remember, he kind of foregoed the Doran's shield to try and get that poke instead.
And it can be valuable on the Malphite, but you do need a couple of levels in the queue before it really starts to hit. Croco moving up top.
6.
Shanji's level 6, looking potentially for a gold card any second. Croco not even going to try for the spear, just going to abandon ship on that one. Zaki, that's 2 grubs taken, but everybody else converging on the play. AL want to contest.
Shanji.
The spike comes through. Croco gets that one. Shanji TP's onto Shanks, and there's the crash down on top. Rookie, much happier with this one. Not a 1v1, but he still gets revenge.
No flash from that level 1, as you were talking about the 1v1, which of course Shanks got away with. Means that he's down tools to work there. 80 carries left in a 1v1 towards bot side, and they are very happily farming that one out. Shanji, no flash, no ult. There is actually a weakness here to be exploited now, though, from Annual's Legend. Ala does have that flash. That's a level 6 hit from Hogue. Good damage, though. The Varus really chunking through.
Oh, he's going to go for more flashes into it. Photic dodges the Q. Keeps himself under tower and will survive. Spell Shield should be coming up shortly, too. At which point, Photic is pretty unkillable for the lethality Varus.
Yeah, and also worth remembering, for those of you that haven't seen Sivir for a while, you now get a small heal when you successfully spell shield something as well. Not like that, Photic. You could have given a great example there. That would have been great. We talked about this, Photic. You should have told us the spell shield.
It's possible it was still on cooldown. They've not clicked on Sivir in a while. I don't know if he used it before we went there, and it is a massive cooldown early on in the game. It's like 17 seconds or something. So
yeah, for sure.
It's possible it was on cooldown. Maybe I set him up to fail there, but Photic gonna head back to base, hit that level 6. I mean, at level 6, this is where your Ricochet starts to get really good. Your ultimate means that Ricochet increases your attack speed once you use it, so you can clear those waves even more efficiently. But also, it's good for setting up CS. You have that auto reset and that increased attack speed. So good for CS and good attack.
Yeah. And also at this point too, when you get levels in your queue, you can actually trade back in the short trades quite well against someone like the Varus if you're just trading skill for skill. You got the spell shield on the other side too. So I think if you are here as NIP, you're actually pretty okay with how Photic has been working here. One thing which I am interested in as the game goes longer as well is that Photic, I have had some issues with how he's positioned in team fights. Going to call that one out early. I think that the Sivir can help you reposition like that. Rookie will quickly reposition away from this mid lane at the same time. But that Sivir ult can be very, very important to maybe allow Photic the ability to just get himself in a safe spot. And Shanji might not be in such a safe spot. Remember, he doesn't have flash.
Oh, Croco just flashes to find the engage. Oh, but Shanji's alive. The gold card. And not enough. Oh, Croco is going to take another shot. And he didn't reset off for Primal Surge, but now there's lasers from the sky. Oh, and he's alive. It's an emotional roller coaster.
Oh, I don't know if it's a tragedy in 3 parts. I don't know really who's the hero of this story, but Croco makes it out alive. We call that Shanks using the flash earlier for the 1v1, but then dying in the bigger fights. Shanji does exactly the same thing. Uses the flash and the ult to get that kill just around the grubs. Doesn't have that summoner available then to keep himself safe. And we said that was a weakness to be exploited. Very nearly turned back though. Ark, if you just had a little bit more damage, you don't get that 1-3. He had the Dog Harvest though. It's not on him. He had the right runes for that situation.
Let's take another look. I can't believe Shanji survived this initial play, honestly.
Yeah, same here, because he ends up getting up. He top decks a gold card. Just quickly locks that one in. That's what makes it much quicker. If that had been a blue card or a red card, wouldn't have come through so close. Croco gets the level up!
Oh,
it's the level up which gets him to survive. I didn't even catch that in the heat of the play. I was watching his heal. I was watching that health bar go so low. Level up MVP.
I mean, honestly, Croco, he played that pretty damn well. The fact that the top deck gold card extends the play is scary, but the Primal Surge at the last possible second to heal away from the turret shot. And then, like, you could see them really rushing to clear the wave. They must have realized that he was close to a level up. That is some really heads-up play from Croco.
Are you a TCG player at all, Joe? Have we talked about this before? You play many card games?
I've been known to dabble in cardboard crack.
Could you imagine if you... Could you imagine if you had like the top deck kind of like opening hand for the one-turn kill like you have with the artifact decks in MCG? That would be absolutely hilarious to say. Remember we were talking about the Lichbane instant killing Karthus? I feel like this should also be there. We'll see what's happening here as well though in the river. Croco jumped on.
Croco forced away. Rookie trying to escape. And looks like he may have activated Shanji's trap card here.
Yeah.
Looks like he won't actually contest, so I've just completely wasted that line, haven't I? Nightmare.
If you say it again louder later, maybe people will forget.
Yeah, everyone will forget,
to
right?
say that because we've got a fight coming through. Draw quartz.
Comes through. Oh my god, he's gone, and then it's a double knock up on top. Allah unstoppable and forceful, if you will. 5-2 now. Now we 3 Grubs right out.
And you might have some paper cards in the top lane, but they're not there at the fight, and that means they can't counter the rock in the fight. Allah, this guy coming into anyone's legend made me really excited about this team. 2-mana ult sets up AL for a really good phase of play. They get themselves some important kills, they get themselves an evening in the Grubs as well, and of course Allah gets himself some gold on the board. Fantastic moment to get Malphite into the game. It starts with a bit of a lazy approach from NIP though, puts down the board, and then their engage is just completely obliterated. Good thank Exodia for that one, I suppose. And this is a great follow-up from Allah.
And I feel like, you know, this is one of the downsides of Rel. When you get engaged on, if the CC chain is long enough, you just can't use your CC in response. You just get stuck to the floor. You can never use that crash down. You can't get the flick back. Oh, Rookie! Send Shanks backwards. Honestly, I thought Rookie was screwed there. I can't believe he's going out so healthy.
Yeah, Croco, the ambush predator in the water, almost gets himself with that spear on target. I think Croco was a bit surprised he jumped in as well. It's like, okay, it doesn't quite land that spear there. Can't quite blame him, but you know, this is kind of what Rookie is reduced to at this point, losing the early 1v1 in a very unexpected way, because this guy's been playing through lane in a dominant way, which we don't see that much in the LPL right now. If you think of the way that a lot of our best mid laners play, it's not through crushing lane leads which snowball the game out of control that often. But Rookie is one of the few people that can do that, and he's behind 2,000 gold to Shanks.
Not a bad little showing from Shanks, a player that has been up and coming in the LPL for quite a while now. He was the franchise player on WE. Allah's going to face check though, and he's going to be a disenfranchised player after this one. There's Shanji trying to get the gold card, but honestly, yeah, it's Malphite. Never mind, you just can't kill him. He's got to that point. He's got to the Malphite stage now.
And this is what we were saying. All you need is one good gank into a Malphite's lane, and then you're completely okay. I think that potentially Photic could be in danger here too. Hook gets spell shielded, but the ult after.
It's good spell shield, but the flash means that he gets out to safety. In the meantime, though, double AD carry onto this tower. It's not going to be long for the world. So tier 1 going to be taken by NIP in the top side. Hope trying to answer, but that's a lethality virus. He does not exactly take towers quick.
No, but if he's going to be left down there for an extended period of time, it's going to go down anyway. It just means that you don't get the first turret bonus at the end of things all the way through that. So extra resources put into Shanji. That's kind of important. You need that Twisted Fate to be ahead of the Malphite. Hope, as we said, will be taking this bot side turret. But I'm starting to get quite worried for this top lane matchup in some ways, even though there's a 1,000 gold lead with that turret down. Allah's Malphite. He has that one item with that Frozen Heart. He's going to be useful now. We've already seen him be that engage bot.
Like, I'm not sure I've ever seen a game where Frozen Heart gets more value than this. There are literally 3 AD carries on NIP's side. Allah's slowing the attacks of all of them. Also, I don't know if this works. Does the auto slow proc off of Ricochet? Because I'm pretty sure, like, Ricochet could crit and everything. I don't actually
I thought
know.
that Frozen Heart was... I thought it was the radius around it which procs it, so I thought you have to be within a certain range of enemy champions rather than hitting it, because then you have a couple of the on-hit items for tanks, but I think Frozen Heart, I mean, it's obviously very easy for Malphite because he has a great way to get into your personal space. You love your own personal space. Malphite also loves your personal space.
If Ala misses an ult, we'll just say that he's trying to get into Frozen Heart range. It wasn't about the knockup. It was about activating his Frozen Heart.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yes, that's fantastic. Truly, you see the mind of an LPL player, as we see the Fog of War at the same time, and NIP swiftly removed that. I love that so much. That's great. A new excuse. Babe, wake up, new excuse just drops.
We'll see how it goes. Ala absolutely chilling though. He's closed the 20 CS gap that came out of the laning phase. He's got some armor. He's just going to become unkillable. Let's actually talk about these compositions a little bit and how they're going to function later on, because I feel like it's been quite an action-packed early game. It's all got a little bit silly, but ultimately 380 carries, you're going to scale quite well. But the Malphite does kind of ruin things.
Yeah, it kind of blue balls you a little bit in the team comp, because you start like, wow, we're going to kill everyone with all this huge damage. The front line's going to be down like 1,000,000 gold and they can't play, so all our 80 carries will kill them. That's not the case, and because Malphite can actually enter these fights and Shanks is winning his lane so hard, AL can push in some lanes, they're pushing in mid lane with the Varus as well, and that's going to allow Malphite entrance into fights which maybe you wouldn't if you were further behind. And that means that Karthus, without Flash, is going to be absolutely terrified for these fights. I think that Rookie needs to be scared because he's not particularly strong either. Yes, he can buffer out of the engage, but just the damage coming through from everything can be really potent. I think that NIP need to be very careful about Shanks getting control of one side of the map and allowing Ala free entrance into big fights. So they need to make sure they're not blindly walking up into a Malphite who can engage onto them.
Oh, Rookie's looking for the 1v1. He wants revenge for the laning phase. Oh, but he can't quite get it. Yes, he can, because it's not a 1v. Wait, Aki got interrupted. What happened to Aki? I didn't see that one, but Rookie now trying to escape on the top side. Croco flashing, but the spear goes wide. Oh, it's unfortunate. The pounce forward, the slow from the smite. The E comes in, and he finishes the job in the end. Shanks to take the kill, but here comes Shanji to try and ruin the play. TP up to the top side, but it's matched by Shanji's destiny. Croco being taken down by Zhuo. In the meantime, Shanji's gone too deep, and he's just taken down.
I mean, ninjas really are in pajamas in this one because they're getting put to sleep. They are being put into bed by anyone's legend. What the heck happened in this phase of play? I think Kael ended up flashing forward to cancel out Aki's ult, and that's exactly what happened. That hitbox is disgusting. Clips around the corner, even though Aki had hidden there to try and get his ult off. That is one of the most disgusting hitboxes I've seen, and its ramifications.
But to be fair to Kael, knowing that Nautilus's hitboxes are absolutely obscene, here's that shot. While his hitbox may be obscene, I bet a lot of you guys at home couldn't hit that hook. So fair play to Kael. Yeah. I'll give him credit for that one.
Yeah, just to revisit this, champions are bigger in terms of their hitbox than they look in terms of their model just about. And it means that they can just hide a little bit, they can kind of just slip a little bit beyond what you expect. And particularly there are some cases too where, because a champion's hitbox is larger than a minion, you can look to be stood just behind a minion but still get hit. You can do what's called a hitbox snipe that way as well. And of course, Nautilus is one of the biggest proponents of that because the hook, it has such a large kind of check for champion radius on it as well that you can pull off stuff like this. We've seen it for years at this point. I'm sure you all know about this one already. Aki has received a grim reminder of this fact.
Which seems appropriate, a grim reminder for Karthus. That sounds like a name of one of his abilities. Aki, gonna be slowed up here, and I mean this, what can you do? What can you do as Karthus versus Malphite?
It's
not
just,
be there, actually, is the answer.
Yeah,
not be in that position.
Yeah, I mean, that's about it. He doesn't have Flash. He has no business being on the same screen as Ala, and this is the problem. When Malphite gets into the game, the 1.6k individual gold lead does not matter at all, because Ala can just go onto any flashless target, and they feel really, really bad. Whether that's Shanji or Aki, I think those are the two primary targets when they don't have Flash. Neither of them get to feel kind of good about that. And, you know, coming out of draft, I thought that NIP had some options to really shut down this top lane. I really think that Shanji maybe messed up by using his flash alongside his ult around that Grubs fight, and I think that started off the snowball. I think if you go back and review, using that flash to get that one kill onto Shanks set him up to lose a lot of the pressure he could have had against Ala, which allowed Ala back into the game with that topside gank. Manuel's Legend, credit to them for finding those opportunities to get it their new top laner. This top laner we're also excited to see slot into this roster on the board.
And I love watching Croco continue to punish Aki across this one. And once again, let's revisit expectations here. This is NIP, this is a top 4 team in the LPL. And AL, a team that just picked up Ala, who we all know is an incredible top laner, but showing that he is integrated at this point, showing that AL are going to be a contender in this split. They're going to be a team that you said that there's a real chance that they can contend for top 4. Well, they're up against literally the 4th place team in LPL last split, and they're looking pretty good right now.
In game 1, we have to see if Fearless takes its toll later on into this series as well. Can they pull this off with different champions? Can they do what they're doing with Croco and Italy right now? Very unique champion in the way that it functions. Same with the Malphite. It's quite unique in the way that it works too in regards to that team fight backline access. These are a lot of good picks for them. The Malphite, you wouldn't see it in many drafts. That's not an S tier one. That's actually quite important because you can use a lot of other picks that way. But the other 4 picks that AL have, they won't have them for the rest of the series. And that's one of the big things that we have to put onto these teams. Yeah, you got to double tap. You can't just leave it at 1.
Yeah, you certainly can't. You know, you're talking about Malphite being on the tier list. He's definitely not S tier, but Malph is high. Hope is going to be pulled in as I'm desperately trying to force a terrible burn. Hope goes down. Good start for NIP. Ricochets bouncing around the team, but Ala trades it. Rookie finishing another 2 for 1. And NIP can move towards Baron.
Yeah, that's a really good play from NIP. Ala doesn't get a big ult onto the backline in the way that he needed to. Shanji dies, yes, but Aki and Shanji both have Flash now, and they walk away with a 2 for 1. They can walk into another fight after this point. Flash is still available, as which we said were very, very important, and that maybe relieves some of the pressure from NIP. Turns out that Malph was not in that fight.
He certainly wasn't. Nice.
I appreciate the effort for what it's worth. I appreciate that you went for it.
The joke was terrible, but I'm willing to force terrible jokes. The problem was the timing, because I kind of just missed the start of the fight. Zhuo, though, trying to start it off alongside Shanji, does get a double knockup.
Yeah, you know, Shanji gets the gold, and then Ala gets the Fool's Gold. He gets the Pyrite, because he doesn't really get much after this point. He goes on to the support for the 1 for 1, and then they go straight back towards the Baron. But remember, there are a lot of flashes here for NIP if they get the fight after.
Nip win the fight, and so AL grab themselves the Baron. That doesn't seem fair to me, but you know, that's how tempo works.
Yeah, I mean, NIP, I thought that last fight should have been able to buy them a reprieve in terms of pressure, a reprieve in regards to the lanes that they had, but they must have just slipped that somehow. I'm really sad that we had the replay come up over that now, because they all just must have pounced on poor resets coming out from NIP and take a free Baron. That's a really awkward moment for them. This Baron buff will now tide them over to Infernal Soul Point. We've barely even talked about the objectives, because it's been more about the Malphite and the team composition that way, but AL, they've been confidently stacking up through the winning bot side of the Varus in terms of the push and getting towards those dragons. They're on Soul Point, and they're a huge gold lead ahead too. NIP, they're in an awful spot now.
Really, really tough one for NIP. And theoretically, they scale well, but I just struggle to see the teamfight scenario where this Malphite is literally killable at all for the side of NIP. And that ultimate is just such a threat, isn't it? It's so difficult to get away with that one. A lot of it will be down to how control can be wrestled, because the rel, you know, if you can find yourself a little pocket of vision and set up for a big engage, there's solid follow-up on that fact. Yeah. It's just whether or not you can find that moment.
And I think, talking about the rel and then follow-up, I'm going to pose it like this. I think that rel should be engaging to stop the follow-up of AL, largely. It's one of the LPL specialties, which is the full contact team fighting. Your teammates getting engaged on, well, you engage back and stop them from completing it. If Zhuo manages to get onto Hope, Shanks, Croco, even Kael or whatever, as Malphite goes in or someone else, maybe you can break open the combo long enough for the carries to get themselves into that pocket, stood behind the rel and being kept safe by that CC. That's going to be hard to do so. We've seen that AL are very confident at just hooking in that rel and killing them straight up.
Full contact League of Legends. So we're saying LPL is rugby? Is that the direction we're going with this one?
Well, that's my preferred sports. You know what? I'll take it.
And whichever league pauses the most, that's American football. Stoppage of play. They love it. They love an advert. They just love an advert, don't they? AL setting up here with Baron. Soul Point spawning in 2 seconds.
Ala?
TPing to topside river, and in the meantime, Kael just... NIP were confused as well, and they just take the opportunity. Great spell shield from Photic, blocks Allah's ultimate, but it doesn't really matter.
He thought he was coming out from vision. Shanji hadn't even popped the ult, so Allah was actually on Fog of War. He tries to hands check Photic pretty much, but can't quite get away with it. If he gets that ult, though, it pretty much would have been a game-ending play where you have the end of that Baron buff, and you could go into the... Well, either way, you're going into the Infernal Soul. Anyone's Legend take the one kill. They'll take the Dragon afterwards, and that one is a heck of a big strategic gain for Anyone's Legend.
Great engage coming out from Kael, and honestly, it might be a game-ending play anyway. Like Infernal Soul with Lethality, Varus, and a Corki. That feels pretty good, and a Nidalee. Almost forgot Croco for a second there. Let's take another look, because, I mean, how did Kael just find this angle? I mean, just walked into it.
He has Flash, by the way. He has Flash here. You are a Karthus, and this is one of the worries we had about Aki. Coming through into the split. Aloe spotted going into... Okay, so that he tried to get out of vision. Maybe just misjudged the vision radius there. But yeah, one of the worries I had about Aki was how he was going to transition over to carry AP-oriented junglers. And this game has not been awesome. He's had a couple of very close salts. He had the cancelled one. Maybe that one is not his fault. I think that the hitbox of Nautilus is a truly special thing. But that team fight there is really quite something. And Rookie's been hiding this pressure for a while. He's shot out by Shanks.
Knows. He's got a radar somewhere hidden on that seal, manatee, whatever the hell Earth is. Zhuo going to be hooked in, and that's enough to find a pick. And one pick can snowball into a fight. Aki knocked up. Now not quite in range for the... Oh my god, that spear on Photic, that's ridiculous.
That reminds me of the... Oh, he gets the kill!
Well. Croco the sniper throwing the javelins. Call him Hercules at this point. Forced away, and that'll be a top tier 2.
I mean, is this Croco or is this like Season 3 Faker or something? The poke Nidalee mid makes itself a return, a shadow of old from that one. And AL, they're going to be pushing in with the Infernal Soul, and they look for the hook. They miss, but they're looking for the end.
Looking to try and finish things off. Shield across the team. Shanji looking for more as Zhuo gets the engage onto Kael. He's fairly squishy, and this is where the AD carries come alive. Photic moving forward. Allah blocking for the rest of his team. But in the meantime, Croco's dived in, and it's 2 for AL. Photic moving forward. Looking for Hope here, but Hope survives. And NIP crumble. Photic desperately kiting away. The Ricochet's doing some damage. Here comes the space laser, but it's not enough. Allah burns. Shanks will survive.
Just about survives, but buddy, I think there was some foul play involved in that. The yellow card was shown to a minion. It could have killed Hope for easy, but the gold card after the teleport goes onto a minion, and NIP, maybe they're going to be shown the sin bin after that one. It feels like that was the fight that they could have taken. Zhuo manages to get his engage. They managed to survive, but they are crippled in the base beyond this. We'll look through this once again. We can see that the hook misses onto Shanji. That's a big moment. He gets to walk back with the gold card. Yes, even with the QSS, the good damage comes down onto Shanks. This is what we're talking about with the Rel. If you can actually pin the first target and stop the follow-up, Zhuo has big value. Yes, he dies, but his job's done. This is where things get difficult. Croco going in around things. And this is the gold card of the century.
Good.
Just
press C.
Shanji, buddy.
Just press C, you know?
Yeah, that's... Yeah. What do you say?
It's a toughie. It's a toughie. There have been some awkward moments in this one. So, two return kills from Aki. That is, I mean, one thing. There is a Karthus in this game. There are 3 AD carries in this game. Ultimately, NIP, yes, they are very far behind. Yes, it does feel pretty much one for AL. But if AL do slip up a couple of times, like with the ricochets coming across the team, the bombs from Rookie, and then a laser on top, it does feel like these fights, if they're not played well by L, can go a little bit awkward.
That being said, what's going to really help them is that there is not a single flash on NIP, and Allah has his. And you've even got the Hex Flash on Kael. So AL, they should have the pick of the litter when it comes through to finding their engages. NIP, they don't even want to approach this. They know they don't have the flashes. They just have to sit and farm. They have to scale. Rookie's pushing out a side lane. They need those summoners. In this game, flash economy is maybe the most important thing we can talk about.
I think maybe me trying to set up NIP potentially winning a fight is just into the category of turbo copium at this stage. AL, I mean, they're just so far ahead. It just feels so impossible to come back. Rookie hunting. I feel like all through this game, Rookie has been trying to find angles in these brushes. He doesn't know, but can they kill him? He's damn tanky. It's taken a little while, and just dashes away, flashes, but the laser, the burn!
Leandres?
Oh, again, Croco finds a heal. He was doing it under the tower at the start of the game. He's doing it again.
Croco has a death cap, and he's become Soraka. Heals his top laner. Shanji pops the ult just to make sure that they're safe on the retreat, but Croco, he's an assassin, he's an enchanter. He can do it all on this Nidalee. 7-0 and 5 and saving his teammates. What more could you want?
I feel like I need to calm down in this one. This game is just ridiculous. I feel like there's been so many extremely close scenarios. But AL coming in. And I'm just so excited to see AL showing the potential we've been talking about. You know, last split, I feel like we saw whispers of this. AL joining the squad feels like the ticket that AL needed to really become something special. We already knew Shanks and Hope had a lot of potential to them. We've seen Kael having some really good games last split. We've seen Croco having some good games last split too. And it feels like this team is coming alive, and they are on the cusp of taking game 1 against NIP.
What a result that would be for them. They need to see that series out, of course, but it's been a good showing from them so far. They have largely been in control of this game. They've had one slip up around that base, which got a little bit dicey for them, but they're pushing in right now. You can see the siege, you can see the threat of the engage. Flash is not quite up for NIP as well. The timing window for them to find an engage without those summoners up. Again, the flash economy is just still available for them.
An engage in this flash economy? I don't think so. AL moving towards a second in him as Zhuo just chunked by a big one from Shanks.
Are you ready for the mouth of Wall Street?
Where did Rookie go? That was bullish to say the least. AL looking to finish things off here. But they're out of minions. They don't actually have any way to... Oh,
no flash.
They've got a way to find their way in here. Shanji taken down. Another spear with a rocket on top. I mean, NIP, they're just... This isn't a war. This is pest control, to quote the Garlics. Zhuo going to fall as well. And that is just a massacre. An absolute massacre. AL just beautiful game here.
This composition, we had some worries about what could happen in the early game. They get one good gank onto the Malphite, and the team comp is set up for success. It's a holistic performance. I think that everyone played through into it. Mid lane, unexpectedly won by Shanks after an early solo kill, and that's not to, you know, dunk on Shanks or something. It's just that Rookie is that good. The fact that he came out with that huge advantage changed the game. The fact that they got away with that top lane play worked out to their advantage too. And it really felt like, to me, AL had a bead on this composition. They'd really drawn in exactly the aim they wanted to go for, and they played out the engages really well. Yeah, which is ironic because Tristana's on the other team. She's meant to be the one drawing a bead, not AL. Fantastic stuff coming out from them. And honestly, Croco's spear accuracy this game has left Jankos in shambles. I don't know why I'm just randomly flaming Jankos. Sorry, dude, there was no need for that. But yeah, ridiculous stuff coming out from Croco. You know, there's actually a Chinese community meme that if you don't hit the spears, you're known as a Soraka player as a Nidalee because you're just healing people in the jungle. He did both.
Yeah. It was the Soraka Nidalee combo coming out. Let's head into a break and then see what on earth